Chelsea Football Club hunt for Maignan, and he publicly gives an ultimatum to AC Milan. And I'm going to tell you what it is. Sell me or you will end up with nothing. Let me explain. Furthermore, Victor Osimhen rejects Saudi Arabia's Al Hilal. But the big thing here is Chelsea fans are back out in full force, pay him the money. And I'm going to talk about what's going on there because a video surfaces where one of Osimhen's friends decides to take a public shot at Chelsea Football Club. Yes, he took a public shot. And I need to talk about this in detail because a lot of people are saying this isn't Osimhen's fault. We will talk about it. Furthermore, Chelsea have decided to acquire the services of Sarr from Strasbourg. 19-year-old centre-half, can play left centre-back and right centre-back. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about him. And more importantly, is he going to the Club World Cup? We have an update on Franco Mastantuono, the one that just joined Real Madrid. Chelsea decided not to go in for him. Imagine that. We have matured. I'm not going to lie to you. I almost shed a tear. We decided not to be hoarders. Amazing. And finally, Bettinelli. It looks like Bettinelli is going to be leaving Chelsea Football Club. There's going to be discussions over the fee. And Manchester City are the club that want him. So before we get started, number one, subscribe to the channel. It's the best way you can support. We're 200 away from 40,000. We are growing at a rapid rate. Number two, hit the like button. 1,000 likes on this video tells this YouTube algorithm AI thing Alex's channel is good. The Kavkas View actually slaps. You want to show other people and you guys want to support me because the content's free. Do it right now. You will forget. And finally, if those of you that do not get enough of the Kavkas View, in the pinned comment is my TikTok. On TikTok, I talk about all the clubs. Genuinely quick little clips. Go check it out. Give me a follow. I'm nearly on 100 followers in like 3-4 days. So love it. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it. Let's get started. So yesterday I released a video when I said Chelsea have agreed deals with Gittins and Maignan. So Gittins knows what he's going to be getting paid. Maignan knows what he's going to be paid. It's fully agreed. Everybody's happy. Now the difficult part. Now they got to agree something with the clubs. Gittins does not look like it's going to happen before the Club World Cup, but after the Club World Cup, it looks like it's definitely going to happen, right? Dortmund changed their system. They don't want to pay him. They don't want to play him. They will move him on. What they're trying to do is extract as much money out of Chelsea as possible. But now let's talk about Magic Mike. Maignan is an interesting goalkeeper, right? For me, he brings everything. Experience, leadership, and ability. But all of a sudden, Chelsea now are pushing to get this deal across the line. And the way they want to get this deal across the line is actually very interesting. They want to do it before the Club World Cup so he can play for us. L'Equipe is now coming out and saying that basically Maignan has decided to actively put pressure on AC Milan. He's told them, I want to leave. I want to join Chelsea and I want to do it now. You either sell me or I will not re-sign and I will walk for free. And the state that they're currently in, I'm telling you right now, they want every single million. They're counting every penny at AC Milan. They are in a predicament that no club wants to be in. They've got financial difficulties, no European football whatsoever, weak position, and Chelsea are going to try to take advantage of this. Fabrizio's come out and said, look, both it's down to the two clubs now. What do I think it is? Yo, this is politics. I told you before and I told you again. Milan are in a precarious situation, if I got that word right, precarious situation. What is going on here is they're trying to hold off to extract every penny they can. Chelsea are being absolute nah, sorry, your problem, you're broke. I am not helping you. I want the best discount as possible. Everyone takes advantage of us. Oh, remember Christian Pulisic? Remember Fikayo Tomori? Remember Ruben Loftus-Cheek? Do you remember the £1 million plus 1 million in add-ons for Olivier Giroud? They ain't helping you. And it's got to this part now, whether the deal is going to get agreed today or tomorrow, I think it will. I will be flabbergasted if I come here on Wednesday and Maignan is not a Chelsea player and fully registered. Genuinely, I think this deal's done. I think it's getting longed out. There will be an agreement reached. What I've noticed is a lot of people now, whenever anything happens with Victor Osimhen, I am tagged. It's got to the position now where unless I say 100% pure praise on Victor Osimhen, I don't rate Victor Osimhen. So let me give you the context before I say what I say, and most probably a lot of people are going to get triggered. Victor Osimhen is a top 5 striker without a doubt in the world. There are not many strikers on this planet. 99% of strikers, if you sat them down and said, are you good as Victor Osimhen? They will say no. He is one of the best. We can all agree on that, right? Victor Osimhen deserves to be paid as one of the best strikers in the world. We can all agree on that. However, What we have to do is be objective, realist, and actively speak about what is happening without emotion. And I think people struggle to do that. I think when you like a player, what ends up happening is your emotion clouds the actual real world situation. What has happened? Victor Osimhen signed a contract with Napoli. I want you to please listen to this carefully. The contract he signed was a huge pay bump. This was 2-3 years ago, right? What was in that contract was a release clause that said Victor Osimhen can leave if the release clause was matched. What ended up happening was the football market, the football economy dried out in the 6 months. Clubs do not want to pay huge transfer fees up to £100 million. So what ended up happening was Napoli was stuck with Victor Osimhen on huge wages and they couldn't shift him. The way they got him to sign that contract to protect themselves is by giving him stupid wages, by giving him huge wages. He was happy to sign. Napoli were happy because they thought they were going to sell him. Since then, what has happened? He wanted to leave. Conte decided he wants to leave because Victor wasn't committed to Napoli. No problem. Everyone agrees with this part. Then what happened was Saudi Arabia wanted. Saudi Arabia wanted him last summer. They couldn't get his service. Please correct me when I'm lying, because I'm not. He ended up being in talks with other clubs. Other clubs in Europe could not agree terms with Victor. Victor has certain level of wages that he wants to maintain. The wages he's at Napoli. The problem for Victor Osimhen is actually very self-explanatory. The market dried out. Nobody is giving their forwards around about 500k a week. Nobody. Virgil van Dijk's on £440,000 a week, right? Erling Haaland's on 500. Apart from that, no one else in the Premier League is on more than 350. I've had a few people tell me this. Chelsea should give it to him because they gave it to Raheem Sterling. They gave Raheem Sterling 320,000. And look what's happening now. They are begging for Raheem to leave. They don't want to repeat mistakes of the past. Manchester United are begging for Sancho and Rashford to leave. They gave huge wages that they don't want to pay. They don't want that kind of wage structure because it drives up the wage. So what has happened recently? What has happened is Victor Osimhen went to Turkey, and in Turkey, he played. He absolutely destroyed the league. Unbelievable player, right? Absolutely destroyed it. Since then, he's been offered £850,000. £850,000 to join a Saudi League club a week. He said no. What this tells me is it's not about money. It has never been about money for him. What it's about is principle. He wants to be playing in Europe, but being paid what he thinks he is worth. The problem here is clubs want him to play in Europe, but they don't want to pay because they don't believe he's worth what he believes he's worth. It's very simple. It's the same way. If I wanted to make my content £5, if you don't believe it's worth £5 to watch the Kavkas View, you don't have to pay. I can't complain that you're not paying. Do you understand? And it's the same with Victor Osimhen. If he wants 400k a week, let's just say, because that's the number that's being touted, right? 400k a week, because that is going to bring him to the 250,000, maybe the 200,000 after tax in the UK, because the tax rate in the UK is different. He needs to accept that the big clubs don't want to pay that. People said to me, Lewandowski's on that kind of wages, Rashford's on that kind of wages. They're not. Rashford is not on those kind of wages. He's on lower than what Osimhen's asking. And the problem is, Manchester United are begging for him to leave. And now, I need to talk about Victor Osimhen. Victor Osimhen needs to get new agents, because I don't believe his current agents for 2 years now have been advising him properly. And the evidence is, a player of that quality should not be so close to joining a Saudi Arabian team or playing in Turkey. He is far too good. And the other one is, he's got clout chasers around him. The other day, I spoke about someone called P squared, or whatever his name is. Q squared, A squared, B squared, C squared, I don't care whatever his name is, right? He was on Twitter waffling. Because what he was doing was, he was making the negotiations public. Today, I wake up and I see a video on Instagram. And in this video, some gentleman on a phone with Victor Osimhen. And what he's doing is, clout chasing. Victor Osimhen needs to get people around him that are not trying to clout chase off his name. And I'm going to explain why. This man's sitting there and he's like, oh, Victor smashed it in France. He smashed it in Italy. He smashed it in Turkey. We all know that. We all know this is a top level striker. You don't need to be on camera saying that. Then he said, Chelsea should be paying the wages. Brother, I'm going to tell you this politely. You are unprofessional and you're not helping your friend. Big clubs monitor social media. They monitor the problems that are going to be created if you sign a player. What's going to happen, yeah? Say, for example, Victor Osimhen comes in, he doesn't score for 5 games, he gets dropped. The same people that are using social media to try to get him the wages are going to be bad-mouthing the club. Bald fraud Enzo Maresca. Sack him. Paul Winfat Stanley. They're going to be saying a bunch of nonsense. And what ends up happening is, this only looks bad on one person. It looks bad on Victor Osimhen. Because if I'm Victor Osimhen and someone's doing this about me, I'm telling him, hey, stop doing this. You're not helping me. Victor Osimhen needs new agency, and what he needs is new friends. These are not his friends. These are clout chasers. These people are trying to use his name to get people like me to see clicks, to get clicks. I had no clue who that gentleman was. I had no clue who P Squared was. He spoke about Victor Osimhen, and all of a sudden I know about him. Do you see the situation Victor Osimhen's in? He needs new representation. He needs new friends, because these friends are using him. A lot of people aren't going to like this. This player is far too talented to be playing in Turkey. He needs to lower his wage demands a little bit, and the clubs need to up their wage demands a little bit. And they need to meet in the middle. Once they meet in the middle, whoever gets Victor Osimhen could actually make a case for winning the league. Whether it's Arsenal, whether it's Chelsea, Manchester United could finish top 4 if they get Victor Osimhen. That's how good of a player he is. Now to talk about Real Madrid and Franco Mastantuono. Franco Mastantuono is a young player. I think he's turning 18 soon. Very good player, right? Argentinian, scored a banging free kick the other day. The hype around him is basically Estevao level. However, Fabrizio's come out with something very interesting. And when Fabrizio comes out with something, you listen. Fabrizio said, Chelsea were interested in the player. Chelsea were offered the player. However, Chelsea decided they're going to trust in Palmer and they're going to trust in Estevao, and that the area was congested. They didn't need to allocate the wages. Tears in my eyes. Tears in my eyes. Tears in my bloody eyes. Maturity. This is basically offering a hoarder free stuff and them saying, no, thank you. Do you understand how we have matured? Do you understand how this is another level of Chelsea Football Club? We're saying no to young talents from South America. Maturing. Absolutely maturing. And that's all I wanted to say about the situation. Look, the player's most probably going to be a star. The player's most probably going to go kick on. However, we've got Estevao, we've got Palmer, we've got Kendry Pies. You've invested your money in them. Now it's time to let them develop and see what you can do. You're going to have to sell one of them if you're getting this kid, because they're going to be blocking each other's way. But we have matured. Matured people. Chelsea Football Club have signed a right back from Strasbourg, and Sarr is officially a Chelsea Blue. Look, what has happened was Chelsea signed him for around about 10 million euros, if I'm not mistaken. Why did Chelsea sign him? Look, there needs to be context applied to this. A lot of people are going to say, did we need another kid? What I think happened is Chelsea were under investigation for the Diego Moreira and the potential David Washington move. And once that broke down, because FIFA's tried to investigate the move, I think Chelsea realized if we're going to do intertransactional deals, they need to be fair market value. And they have a lot of faith in Sarr. Once they got Sarr, they realized that it was time to go actively decide, are we going to invest in him properly, or are we going to actively go after him in 12 months' time when his fee's higher? And what I think that they realized was, we need to pay the money. We need to decide now that it is key to pay the money, the 10 million, rather than wait a year and he's going to be worth 20, 25. So I think they act. To me, I don't want Chelsea to buy another centre-half till after the Club World Cup. I don't think they will. I don't think they're going to look at anyone. But what I think is going to happen is he needs to be given an opportunity. I don't know what we're going to do, because Argentine Aaron's here, Joshua Chempong, Trevor Chalobah, Toussaint, Badiashile, Disassi, Colwell, and Wesley Fofana, 8 centre-halves. Way too many players. Way too many players. We're going to find out what's going to happen. Club World Cup's going to be interesting. That playing next week or at the end of the week is going to be very interesting of who makes it onto it, because it is going to be very alarming, the players that don't make it. The last thing we need to do is talk about Marcus Bettinelli. Marcus Bettinelli is going to be leaving Chelsea Football Club by the looks of things. Simon Johnston and other people have come out now and have specified that Manchester City are interested in him. Scott Carson has left and Bettinelli is getting the opportunity now to move to Manchester City. For me, this is really sad. However, I understand if Bettinelli wants to go. Firstly, I don't know where Bettinelli's from in the UK. Maybe he wants to move back up north if he's northern. However, and this is a big however, as a third choice goalkeeper, you're there for vibes. You're there to ensure that other people are happy. You're there to ensure that other people are basically working well. The standards in the dressing room are upheld. And just there as a support compass, a leader. And what I've noticed is a lot of the players love this guy. Like Levi Colwill adores him. Sancho loved him. Like you keep seeing Cole Palmer, Toussaint. These players all talk about him like a good friend. So it's going to be very, very sad to see him go. However, he is the third choice keeper and we need to be realistic here. This is not the end of the world. However, there is something to be said that he's been with us for 4 years. He is part of the furniture. He has learnt to be proper Chelsea. I actually do believe that. He has learnt to be proper Chelsea. I want to see who we replace him with, because that's just another job now created for us to go and replace a third choice goalkeeper. I do like it being an experienced head. I do like that. So it's going to be interesting. Good luck to him if he moves on. Honestly, I don't wish him any ill. I don't wish him any negativity. He's been such a good and refreshing character to have in the dressing room. He looks like he's a banter of a person. And what I like is I genuinely think I could have a beer with him and chat about football, music or anything. He's just so personable, top G. So it is what it is. Guys, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the follow me on the TikTok in the link below. And if you enjoyed the content, tell a friend to tell a friend. It's the easiest way to help the Kavkas View to grow. Peace out. I'm out.